Hi, hello, Vinny and Dragon here, and welcome to another Pokemon Hot Takes video. This is a series I try to do every now and then, where I just react to sort of the community's Pokemon Hot Takes, and I just sort of give my opinions on them, whether they're really, really bad, really, really good, and just sort of whatever I feel. If you want to submit a hot take, please do so in my Twitter, my Blue Sky, or the YouTube community tab. I'll make sure to read every single one, so I really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into the video. The first hot take is already outlandish. Gengar's design is 90% as boring as Dewgong's. I just disagree. I think Dewgong is just kind of a seal. Meanwhile, Gengar at least has some creativity to him. Like, sure, you could argue, like, he's just a ghost. But, like, he has a lot of personality in his design. With, like, the tongue and the way, like, he's animated and the way he moves. Versus Dewgong, who's just kind of an aquatic creature. I don't know. I really disagree. Maybe it's just because Gengar, like, gets more love, like in the TCG and the anime and stuff, but like even if it was base designs, like if Dewgong came out today, people would shit on this Pokemon constantly. People do shit on this Pokemon constantly. Versus Gengar, who's like very loved for all the personality he has, like just in his animations and stuff. If you look at like his sprites, like he's always doing some movement and he's always excited, and I like that about him. Next hot take. The legendary trio from Johto are Kirin, not dogs or cats. Stop calling them that. I think people just call them legendary dogs or cats out of sake of, like, simplicity, even though it's very clear that they're just their own creatures. I think legendary beasts is kind of more accurate. They are beasts, they're creatures, they are not just one-to-one with cats or dogs. So, like, I don't really necessarily, like, agree or disagree. I think that they're just kind of their own thing. Plus, you could also just say Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. But, I don't know. Clearly, they are not just dogs and cats, especially the Paradox Pokemon, who are definitely, like, dinosaurs. So, like, it's clear that they're just kind of their own creatures, and not one-to-one with, like, a tiger and stuff like that. Like, they're very clearly just creatures. Not exactly sure how hot of a take this is, but I know some people in the Nuzlocke community want it, so I'm just gonna say this. Pokemon shouldn't add a Nuzlocke mode. I love Nuzlocks, don't get me wrong. I just feel like if they add one, it's not going to feel right. It's going to make it harder to do more specific challenge runs, hardcore Nuzlocks, etc. Just given how Game Freak is, I don't think the people asking for it would be happy. I sort of agree, sort of disagree. I think that having customization is always a good thing, and being able to control your Pokemon game is just always the objective best thing. So, like, EXP share toggle, for example, I think EXP share is a good change. I think that people who think EXP share isn't a good change are crazy. But at the same time, you should be able to toggle it. You should always be able to just, like, more options is always the best thing. And so, like, if people want this option, then, like, and Game Freak wants to implement this option, I definitely think they should. However, Nuzlocks have always been a self-imposed challenge. They are just kind of like an additional challenge onto the game that people can decide to do if they want. And I think that having a Nuzlocke mode would just sort of like it's I mean, Nuzlocks are self-imposed. Like, the rules of a Nuzlocke are always different. People do their own Nuzlocks how they want, like you said, hardcore Nuzlocks and specific challenge runs. So I don't know. I feel like a Nuzlocke run, like a Nuzlocke mode, could be cool, but at the end of the day, you decide what your rule set is for your game. So, I don't know. I think it's just kind of in the middle. I don't really agree or disagree with this. Pokemon Conquest is the best spin-off game behind Pokemon Go. I had to remind him that Pokemon Go was a thing, by the way. I think Pokemon Conquest is definitely really, really good. I've never completely 100%ed the game, because it just has a lot of content in it, but I have played it, and it is really, really fun. It's definitely my type of game, too. But like I said to him when he originally said this, I think Pokemon Go is just the objective best spin-off. The impact that Pokemon Go had was just, like, genuinely generational. Like, there will be kids who... Pokemon fans in 10 years will have all played Pokemon Go. That was such a huge part of the fan base. Like, it brought old fans back, it made new fans, there were kids whose first game was Pokemon Go, it got so much, like, media attention and stuff. I think Pokemon Go was, like, not just because it was popular, but because it was popular and really, really fun. 99% of the time, if a weaker but more accurate alternative to a move is available, I am using it. For example, Surf over Hydro, OSV over Focus Blast, Thunderbolt over Thunder. Only exceptions is for very particular situations. So, in his specific examples, I agree with Surf over Hydro. I agree with Aura Sphere over Focus Blast. I don't agree with Thunderbolt over Thunder. And the thing is, sometimes the genuine damage increase matters, like a lot. So, sometimes genuinely the difference between a Thunderbolt and a Thunder can win you the game. Certain low accuracy moves, yeah, they're low accuracy, but like, they're not low enough accuracy to where you genuinely feel like you just can't run them. Like, for example, like Play Rough, I think if there was like a fairy move that was 100% accurate but had like 70 to 80 base power, I'd still probably run Play Rough, even though, because I mean, like again, the accuracy can miss, but it's such a low chance where it's just like, it's optimal to run Play Rough. I understand that it's just like a personal thing of like you hate missing, and I get that. It's why people like sometimes don't run Will-O-Wisp when they really should, but overall, accuracy is just one of those things. I mean, luck is just a factor in Pokemon. It's never going to go away. So, minimizing luck can be good, but at the same time, sometimes you just have to go for what's optimal. Even if you lose due to like some RNG, I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. Status moves in Pokemon need a complete retooling from the ground up. Sleep and Freeze are insane statuses and need to be toned down. Para is in a similar boat, but not as bad. Poison and Burn are somewhat balanced, but as a whole, status moves need a rework. I sort of agree. I think that the way statuses are in Pokemon are very wonky. I think that any status that just completely makes you unable to move for the turn isn't really good. I think that Sleep, Freeze, and Para are all just because of the way that they can just negate you from moving for certain turns is like a problem. I think that they could sort of balance them in certain ways. Like, I remember I was talking in my other video, which I'll put up in the iCard, but basically talking about how many statuses there are in other RPGs and what some of those statuses do. Sleep in other RPGs usually lets you regenerate health, even though you can't move. I think that in Pokemon may be fine if you are put to sleep, so you're constantly healing, but you can't move. I'd be okay with that. I think that, like, in general, sleep is incredibly, incredibly strong, though, because you could sleep more than one thing, which is why Sleep Clause is a thing. I think Freeze is just the worst status, because it's pure RNG. There's nothing you can do to avoid getting frozen in, like, a skill-based situation, and there's nothing you could do to inherently get a freeze in a skill-based situation. There are things that, like, increase freeze chance, but in general, I don't think there's any possible move that has a freeze chance of, like, over 20%, I think. And then, like, if you're Serene Grace, you could maybe hit, like, 40, I think? I don't know. I'd have to double-check that. But in general, it's just pure RNG-based. There's no Will-O-Wisp where it's like, oh, it's 85% chance but guaranteed burn. Like, Freeze doesn't have that, which, thank God, it doesn't. But I think that Freeze just needs to be replaced by Frostbite. Para just needs to get rid of the chance of you not moving in a turn. Para would already still be good with the cutting speed in half, but they needed to add the 10% chance you can't move, which I think is just bad. Poison and Burn are fine. I don't think you need to touch Poison and Burn. I think that the chip damage is fine. I think Badly Poison is well done. I think that Poison and Burn, like, aren't really toxic to the game. Toxic, but I think that they're just 100% okay. Like, there's no real changes that need to be made to them, but yeah, Freeze, Sleep, and Paralysis are kind of dumb. And then Attraction and, like, fucking Confusion are both really dumb. I don't like those ones either. Nemona is the best rival of Gen 9, and it isn't even close. I do think it is actually closer than you think. But yes, no, this is accurate. Nemona is super good. I think Penny is completely out of the conversation. I love Nemona's character. She's super fun. She's always entertaining when she's on screen. I think people just, like, immediately were like, battle Yandere, and immediately, like, threw her out as, like, fight sexual character. It was just Goku. But, like, in general, she's very entertaining, and I kind of empathize with her, like, sense of boredom and stuff like that, and her sense of nurturing for the sake of having that level of connection of being like, this is someone I can battle, this is someone who surpassed me, because being the best at stuff is hard. I think Arven is definitely really, really good, though. I think that, like, objective narrative-wise, Arven could have the argument to be better than Nemona for sure, but Nemona is just cooler. And also Nemona is a fire champion. I think that, like, when the anime is eventually adapted and stuff, I think, like Nemona should definitely be the final battle. I know that, like, there is Horizons coming out, and I have no idea what's going on with that. I haven't watched it, but like, dude, Nemona's so cool. I want Nemona to be in more things. If they ever do, like, I mean, Gen 9 remakes are probably 15 years out, but Nemona should still be the champion there, and probably the chairwoman now. But I also do really like Ita, so maybe they could keep Ita around. I don't know. Alright guys, that was the end of this Hot Takes video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. Comment if you have anything you disagree with, or if you want to post your own hot takes. Also, I'll be doing them in the YouTube community tab, Twitter, Blue Sky. Yeah, you heard the spiel in the beginning of the episode. But yeah, please be sure to like and subscribe. I try to get these videos out every week or so. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, just make sure to tune in. And also, make sure to tune in for the upcoming draft I'm going to be in. I've been drawing up a lot of hype for this because I genuinely am really, really excited about it, so I want you guys to be along for the ride with me. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.